This is the Poseidon Redwood, and it is a drop bar gravel bike, and it is a entry-level drop bar gravel bike because it only comes in at $8.99. How good is it? Well, stay tuned and let's find out. Poseidon actually claims that this thing comes in at 29 pounds, and you know what? That is actually probably accurate. I didn't weigh this thing prior to swapping out the tires and making it tubeless, but as you can see up on the screen, that's actually probably accurate given that the new weight for this is a lot less. The stock tires that it comes with do have some downsides. They are very heavy. For the pair, it was almost 2,200 grams, and that's a lot for some tires. Now, with that, you are probably gonna get some puncture resistance or some, not have to worry about getting a flat as much. Hopefully that's the case. I don't know, but if you buy this bike, the first thing I would do is this. I forgot to mention, these are not tubeless compatible, which means if you want to go tubeless on this bike, you're gonna have to get new tires anyways. One cool feature about this bike though is the fact that it is a dropper ready bike, which means you only have to buy an externally routed dropper post. So there are these clips down the back side of the seat tube where you'll actually run the cable down. From there, it'll actually run internally as it makes its way through the down tube up to the handlebars. So I do need to note that Poseidon did send me this bike for review, but keep in mind, they don't get to see this video before you do. So they don't get to make any changes or dictate what I say in this video. All the thoughts are my own. This Microshift Advent X drivetrain has been flawless. I mean, it's been awesome this entire time that I've had this bike. And you know what? It's actually outperformed some SRAM and Shimano group sets that I've used also. And that's saying something because those are higher end drivetrains that I've used. It might just come down to the fact that this is just a super simple 10-speed drivetrain. It's got an 11 to 48 tooth cassette in the rear, which means you're not actually far off from an Eagle or a 12-speed system from Shimano. The range is super close. You're not really missing all that much. This Pro Wheel crankset is adequate. It works just fine. I don't have any issues with it. The only thing that's probably a downside to it is the fact that it's just heavy and it uses a square taper bottom bracket. And let's be honest, nobody likes those. Now this is a 38 tooth narrow wide chainring. And well, for anything steep, you might actually want to size it down because as you can see here, it's just not enough for steep stuff.
Oh no, running out of gears. Nope. And that's why you need a smaller chainring for stuff like this.
So if you plan on doing a lot of steep climbing, I would recommend dropping this down to like a 34. Oh, did I mention that the derailleur is clutched? That's a huge plus since this bike doesn't have any suspension. I really think Poseidon actually nailed the cockpit on this. The 46 centimeter wide handlebars are perfect in my opinion, and the 24-degree flares on the drops is great for when you're going into single track. The only thing I might actually consider changing on this is swapping out the 60mm stem for something a little bit longer like a 70. But before I do anything like that, I'm gonna hop on the MyVeloFit, which is an AI-based bike fit system that you can do at home. I think that thing's super cool. I've used it on my other bikes and it works really well. Just look at this paint job here. This is the deep wine cherry colorway. That's a limited release that they're doing. And it's gorgeous. Now, I wanted this for two reasons. The first one, red's my favorite color. And, to have a red bike, perfect. Secondly, having a limited release colorway for a bike is just special. There is something I need to figure out though. What should the accent color be on this bike? Personally, I might just stick with black, but let me know down in the comments below. And before I ride this thing anymore, I really need to install some of this stuff right here so I can protect the paint, because I'll be sad if I scratch this paint. Now, one of the weakest points on this bike is gonna be the brakes. They're okay. They do the job, but they're not great. And, it could just be the fact that I'm really spoiled by nicer brakes, like my TRP brakes that I run on my mountain bike, or even my SRAM Rival hydraulic brakes that I run on the Diamondback. I'm probably spoiled, but honestly, they're not great and they could be a lot better. And I'm gonna make them better. I'm actually going to do the compressionless housing upgrade on this, and that should solve a lot of the problems that I have with these brakes. The saddle is basic, but I actually found it to be quite comfortable. On my 2-hour ride up in Big Bear, I didn't actually wear a chamois. It wasn't until I passed about the 1.5-hour mark that I was starting to kind of want my black bib chamois. But all in all, the saddle did a great job. And now this is just my opinion based off of my own body. So one of the things that makes this bike so awesome is the fact that it's just so upgradable. The fact that it comes standard with flat mount brakes, a tapered head tube, and through axles means that you're gonna be able to upgrade this bike as you need over the course of its life and not have to worry about using some old standard that nobody uses anymore. So look, I don't plan on doing bike packing anytime in the near future, but it's nice to know that this would be the perfect bike to do it on. It's got a ton of mounting points on this thing. So there's 3 bosses on each fork, and that system is capable of holding 70 pounds. That's more than my children weigh. And over here on my size medium, I have 3 water bottle mounts. I got 2 here in the frame and 1 on the down tube. And if you go with a bigger size, you get 4. That's a lot. Oh, and there's also 2 here on the back on each side, so if you want to run a fender rack, you can totally do that. These wheel sets, they're heavy, but they're built like a tank. So I would imagine that these things are going to survive just about whatever you can throw at it. But like I said, they're heavy, so this is something that I would upgrade rather quickly just because I don't like to have heavy rims because that's a lot of extra weight to be pushing around. Just go ahead and insert your weight weenie comments down in the comments below. But seriously, these are heavy. You get rid of these and you're gonna lighten up this bike tremendously. Now, they do actually have a 26mm internal width. That's mountain bike territory. So these things can run a 2.6-inch tire. That's fat. I couldn't imagine running a tire that fat on a bike like this. Although, I think that would be a fun, interesting experiment. Let me know if I should do that. Now, because these rims are so wide, you're not gonna wanna run anything smaller than a 42C tire. And honestly, that's just too skinny for a gravel tire in my opinion. 47's where it's at and bigger. Another cool thing is the fact that you can swap out these 27.5-inch wheels for 29-inch wheels. You know, 700C in the gravel road equivalent. And you can actually do that by ordering them straight from Poseidon for an extra 200 bucks. And honestly, I think that's kind of a no-brainer if you want to have the option to run 2 different wheel sets and not really be into it for a lot of money. For $899, I think this is a fantastic bike if you're looking to get into the sport of gravel or looking to do just even a little bit of off-road and even a little bit of road. The fact that this bike is super upgradable with its tapered head tube, its through axles, and its flat mount brakes, this bike isn't going to hold you back from wanting to move forward with your riding. So I gotta say, this is an awesome bike. Now, I'm not going to do any upgrades just yet. I'm saving that for an upgrade series. So get subscribed so you don't miss out on that, where I'm going to go through and swap out damn near everything on this bike probably to a higher level spec. And with that, this is MTB Rad Dad signing off. I'll see you next time.